Hey, what's going on, Swifters? It's Jimmy Swift here, and today is the 10th anniversary of 9/11. So I brought some friends in a call with me. We were going to do something kind of special. We got on a new 1.8 server for Minecraft, and we actually built a giant flag. But unfortunately, right now, these servers don't seem to be working, so we could not finish the project, and we can't reconnect. So I have for you here an image of an American flag, and what we're going to be doing today is just kind of remembering those people that died 10 years ago, and sort of giving our own stories on what we remember, how it made us feel, and where we were. So to start off, I am I'm 23, and when that happened, when 9/11 happened, I was in 8th grade. I was in school. I was in history class, and I remember the principal coming over the loudspeakers in school and just kind of saying that our nation had just been attacked, and so we all turned on the TVs, and I remember our whole class going next door. And actually, it was funny at the time, I didn't even know what the Twin Towers were. Like, I had no idea what they even were. So it was kind of foreign to me, but it was very scary, and that day was something you always remember. I remember coming home and talking to my mom about it, and there was just a lot of fear. So, I don't want to go on and on about this because there's some other people here that are going to give their stories, but it's always nice to try and remember, realize how it made you feel, how much we as Americans cherish our freedom. And there are a few Canadians in the call here today, but I wanted to bring them in because they're good friends and just, it affected the whole world. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this off now to Grim Gary, and tell your story, Gary.
I was off that day from work. I was working at Gateway Computers as a technician. In fact, I'm wearing my Gateway technician shirt. It's a 10-year-old shirt. And, I was off that day, and my roommate's cousin came in and said, hey, one of the plane just hit one of the towers. And I was like, what, like a little Cessna or something? So I was kind of like, whatever. And then I actually turned on the TV and saw everything kind of unfolding, and it just plain stunned. That was my purest reaction, and I remember everybody was just so quiet and just like they were just out of it, and things were actually kind of peaceful here as everybody kind of banded together to deal with the grief of all the people that we lost on that day. And it was also 4 days before my birthday, so my 30th birthday, which was quite a solemn affair. But we try to be as happy as we could under the circumstances.
Yeah. Luckan, you want to go?
All right, let's see. Well, it was 10 years ago. I was 24 years old. I worked as a special effect artist for movies, and I was off that day. And I was actually sleeping, and my wife, Heather, came and got me, and she's like, hey, something's going on. Check out the TV. And when we turned on the TV, that's when the cameras were looking up, and the second plane flew into the building. Mm-hmm. And at that point, like, it was just like an absolute numbing shock that came over me. I was just like, wow, what is this? Like, at first, it was just like, wow, someone flew that far off course and hit the building. Wow, how'd that happen? And then when everything just started unfolding, like Jim said, you had that real sense of just, it was scary. It was really like, wow, this is happening here, and all the thoughts go through your mind of just being angry, and you just sat there. We sat there literally for a week and just watched this happen. Like, we did nothing. I took the whole week, and we just watched it happen. And it was like, wow, it really was pretty crazy. And little Ethan was, he was 1 at the time, so he doesn't remember anything.
Man. All right, Clash, you want to go ahead?
Sure. So I don't really remember much of the day of 9/11. I'm 18 now, and 10 years ago I was, 8 and either in the 3rd or the 4th grade. So I really don't remember that much of it. The whole day was a blur. They didn't say anything about it when I was in school as it happened. They didn't announce it to the school or anything because they didn't want to freak everybody out. And it wasn't until my dad picked me up that I found out about it. He said, you're going to see these planes flying to this building. And I really just don't remember that much of it at the time. And it really wasn't that important to me. I was so young. I didn't realize the impact that it had on our country. And it wasn't until just past this May, I believe, when they announced that they had gotten Osama bin Laden and everybody was so happy, and everybody was just, freaking out, like we finally, got the person responsible for all of this, and everybody was just, celebrating in the streets of New York, and it's just all this going on that I realized just how massive of an event that 9/11 really was, and just how much it impacted us. And it made me realize how important it is to remember an event like that, because it really makes you think about what is important, and it forces you to, just acknowledge that we have a lot here in this country to be thankful for, and and also to remember those that died that day. So. Yeah.
All right, we've also brought some two Canadians in the call, two good friends of mine, Mr. 360 Games and Dan 21, and I just kind of wanted to get their perspective too, kind of as outsiders, non-Americans. So Dan, why don't you go ahead and just sort of tell what you remember, how it affected you, maybe other people in your country, and just stuff like that.
Well, the first thing I remember is I was sleeping and I woke up for no reason. I just turned on my TV and stuff. I was getting ready to go to college, and then we got the news, and when they showed the first hour and everything, they were talking about the accident theory and stuff. And actually, when the second plane crashed, I saw a whole team of news guy actually stopped talking, speechless. Nobody was saying anything, and I was like, okay, so this is kind of really weird and sad. So after that, I just got up. I checked in my home to see if other people in my home were actually watching the TV and if they were aware of this. And even in my home, we were maybe 6 or 7 back then. Nobody was actually talking. Everybody was just looking at the TV, and you could see that everybody was so freaking scared that something like that could happen in the years that we were living. So I went to the college after that, and I could see that everybody was kind of affected. Everybody was, I don't know, just out of it. And we're up in Canada. I mean, it wasn't directly our country and stuff, but even then, you could see that if something as bad as that could happen to the States, it was kind of scary even for our country, and we felt the impact really bad. So that's all I can say.
Yeah. Ryan, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I think I was 8 years old, so I was about the same as Clash, because I'm 18 now, and I don't remember much of it, but I do remember, I think it was at recess, and then we came inside, and we could see, the teachers' faces, they were just completely stone-faced, and then all of a sudden, I think our principal came on the announcements, and then he sort of explained a little bit of what happened, and then it was just sort of a rush. Everyone sort of felt kind of scared, and we all got picked up from school, I remember that, and brought home, and because I was so young, I didn't really understand the gravity of it all and how it affected my family and stuff like that. But my parents were really, really worried, and a lot of the parents were really worried because we never seen anything like this before, and I don't think a lot of kids showed up for the next following days of school. Everyone was just really worried that that could happen to us as well. What's going to happen? Are they going to target the schools and stuff like that? And honestly, I didn't really think because we're in Canada, but it did affect us really, really greatly, and just something like that could happen. It was almost it's mind blowing, it really is. But yeah. So for me, I really don't remember too much of it, but I could see it on my parents' faces, and even just that whole week of school, it just did not feel the same as any other week, and everyone was just sort of silent, and it was very, very different, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to take a moment of silence here, but I want to thank you guys for sharing your stories. But yeah, let's have a quick moment of silence just to remember everybody that died that day, and gave their life for our country, and still continue to do so. So let's just have a moment of silence here. All right. I think last thing that I want to say is just being an American for me is a fantastic thing. I think I was born here, raised here. I know a lot of you guys probably out there within my audience watching this video, you might be American, you may not be. But for those of you that are, on a day like today, I really want everybody to try and remember not only what happened, but what we really and truly have here, and the freedoms that we have here. You know, you can do so much in America just on your own free will. Like you can go to a store and buy what you want. You can go, you know, you can play whatever sport you want. You can make, you know, YouTube videos. You can do whatever. I mean, there's a lot of freedom here, and it's fantastic. And you know, I think we have our founding fathers to thank for that. You know, back in the 1700s when they, you know, wrote up the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And you know, I think that on special days like today, we should really try and remember that and cherish what we truly have, because it can honestly be taken away so quickly. And I think the thing a lot of people just don't realize is just that it's not a given. Freedom is not something that is set in stone. Freedom is something, it's fragile. It's something that will always be wanted to be taken away by someone else. You know, countries that hate us or are jealous of what we have, or whatever it is. They can make up whatever excuses they have, but at the end of the day, as an American, I truly believe that I live in the greatest country in the world, and it's something you always have to, you can't take for granted, because like I said, it can be taken away in an instant, whether it be an event like 9/11, a nuclear attack, just anything like that. I mean, it's a very humbling experience. I can't believe it's been 10 years. I'm sure you guys probably feel the same way. Like, wow, really? Like 10 years ago? It doesn't seem that long. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. And if you guys have any parting words, just go ahead. But I wanted to thank Grim Gary, Luckan, Clash, JTM, Dan21, and Ryan, Mr. 360 Games for joining me here. So if you guys have anything else you want to say, go for it.
Yeah, just make sure that you don't waste any time that you have here on Earth, and make the most of what you've got here, because it's really something special. Life is something not to be taken for granted.
Yeah, we really do take it for granted after sometimes, though, don't we?
Yeah,
I know I do.
Everybody's guilty of that for sure. But
Sadly, it always takes something very horrible to happen before we actually react, and it could be like someone in your family that actually dies, or like something of a scale an attack like this.
Yeah.
So, but for those of you who are actually too young, or if you have an easy life right now, just remember that you should always live like it's your last day, and just cherish the people around you.
Exactly.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
So, yep. Thank you guys for joining me for this, and I'm sorry for you guys out there that have just been staring at a flag the whole time in this video. But
Yeah.
you know, like I said, we tried to make a nice large Minecraft flag for you guys, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys spent some quality time today with people that you love, your families, girlfriends, wives, husbands, boyfriends, brothers and sisters, dogs, cats, all that stuff, and remember 9/11 today, and just hopefully all of you feel blessed that if you live in America and have the freedoms that we have here. So thank you guys for joining me, and pretty much wraps it up.
All right. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
See you guys
everybody.
later.
Later.
Bye.